For a session presented by Allianz Partners, please welcome the Chief Sales Officer for Global Travel at Allianz Partners, Ricky Horwitz, and President of JetBlue Travel Products, Andres Berry, in discussion with SkiftX Head of Studio, Jeremy Kressmann.
Ricky, Andres, welcome to the Skift Aviation Forum. So in this panel, we're talking about loyalty, a topic I think we all care about, but we're approaching it from a little bit of a different angle, okay? When many of us think about loyalty, I think our brains jump to this idea of points, loyalty programs, but really in this session, I want to talk about how building better customer experiences and great products can actually lead to long-term value and even brand preference among customers. So with that in mind, Andres, when we think about loyalty in this way, delivering better customer experiences, how is JetBlue delivering on that for passengers?
Yeah, I think this is something that goes back to JetBlue's founding, right? I mean, it was from the very beginning just creating a better customer experience and believing that people are going to come back based on that. So we invested from the very beginning on TVs with live content on the planes and better legroom and a better variety of snacks. And then over time, that's continued. I think that still continues to be part of the core of who we are as a company and how we try to get customers to come back. So you think we were the first ones to launch Fly-Fi and the free streaming in the air. The Mint product, which has revolutionized the way people are flying transcontinental within the United States, and then more recently towards Europe, which have been tremendous successes. So I think that combined with having a culture of service has always been at the core of what keeps people coming back to JetBlue, and it's something that we always try to build from.
Yeah, that people have always appreciated that JetBlue experience, right? Ricky, what is the Allianz perspective on this topic? You, of course, partner closely with JetBlue, so tell us how you help support the creation of these better experiences for customers and where that actually comes into play in the customer journey.
Sure. Well, in our name, it's Allianz Partners, so it's about partnership.
Mm-hmm.
It's about bringing additional brand value to JetBlue and making everything relevant. So as we think about it as an insurance company, we have billions of data points. So how can we take those data points, take JetBlue's values, take their strategies, and provide the right products and relevant products? So it's all about relevancy, ease to understand, and being an extension of the JetBlue brand as a partner.
Right, okay, so looking for ways to improve that experience. And Andres, in your first response, you talked a lot about product, right? So I have a good idea what that customer experience looks on board the flight, but I wanted to ask you about what this looks like when I'm still in the process of actually making a purchase. So what's the strategy to create more loyal customers at the point of sale? Is there a way to build loyalty when I'm still buying a ticket?
Yeah, look, I think there's two approaches that we've taken. One is when people are buying tickets, I mean, make that as easy as possible, right? So it's give them the information that they want, present it in a quick manner. A lot of different things around storing your payment type, storing your information about who you are as a customer. So it's really, if you know where you're trying to go, there's a lot of effort that goes into making the app and the website as efficient as possible. I think one of the things that we've also started investing a lot more in is when people are buying more than the ticket. And I think when we started the journey on a few years ago by really focusing on how do we make it as easy as possible for customers to add to their trip beyond the flight, but potentially things that they want to buy, like book a car rental or a hotel or something like that.
Right.
And we invested a lot in this Paisley platform, which you'll see on our website, which both interacts with customers as they're booking flights, but then later. And the idea there was, similar to what Ricky was saying, is customers give us a lot of information and that can be used in an appropriate way that actually makes it easier for them. So if I know where you're going, I have a sense of what your party composition looks like, I know how long you're going to be there.
Sure.
That gives us a lot of clues of, hey, this might be a relevant car for you, or this might be a relevant travel insurance policy. And not only in the moment, but then we've also learned that, hey, sometimes customers just want to get through and book a flight and they want to skip all that stuff. But they come back later, and how do we take all the information they gave us the first time and say, oh yeah, here, everything is one click away, and that's something that we've really invested in with the Paisley platform to be an extension of the easy JetBlue experience.
So for example, if I was taking a business trip on JetBlue versus if I was booking for a leisure trip, right? Would you be personalizing that purchase experience through Paisley, or even if I was without
Absolutely.
Paisley?
So we look at it by destination and certain party size and how long you're going to be there. And yeah, if you yourself were booking a 3-day trip into New York City, or if you're booking a 4-day trip with another adult and children to Orlando, you would absolutely get a different car that we're leading with and different hotels and things like that. And we obviously invest a lot in learning from customer behavior. We're pretty proud. I mean, we consistently get 90% of customers who are purchasing additional travel from us are buying one of the first 3 choices that gets put in front of them. And that's something we invest a lot in and try to understand. And I mean, some of this is fairly obvious. I mean, it's different if you're going to Vegas or Orlando, or if you're going to Salt Lake City in the middle of winter than if you're going to New York. But we put that intelligence in there to have as few clicks as possible for customers to get what they want.
Right, okay. And Ricky, you're of course supporting that through some of the work that Allianz is doing as well.
Yeah, so at Allianz, we're not just focused on that one, that holy grail of the booking path of where the offer is presented. It's really educating the customer throughout the journey. So when someone's going to JetBlue, they understand what the travel protection is, where they're going to see it, make it as easy to understand, as relevant, as can be a business traveler versus a leisure traveler. And so we're supporting the brand throughout the journey, and not just, at that time of purchase, making it easy to understand when they're purchasing the ticket, but also after the fact. So if they didn't buy in the booking path and they're interested afterwards, making it easy to understand, but then continuing with the brand and the journey when they're traveling to make sure that customers remember they have a policy, they see the value, and that if they need to file a claim, great, here's how you can do it. And we're trying to wrap as much of that within the JetBlue experience as possible as an extension of their brand, but still keeping somewhat at arm's length as the insurance company.
Of course, and similar to what Andres was just sharing in his example of that personalization or customization, it sounds like you're doing a similar thing. If I'm taking a trip domestically versus internationally, it sounds like you're pairing a different type of coverage with that purchase process, right?
Exactly, and throughout the process, as you get to that booking flow, we know a few things about you, and we'll take that data and we will come back with the one product, maybe the one product out of 25 that we think will be most relevant to you.
Right.
And we'll make that message as relevant to you and meaningful, so that if you want to buy the product, it's there. We don't want you to buy the product if you don't want it, if you don't find any value in it.
Yeah, and that's a way, again, to build this brand preference we're describing.
Yeah, I think if I can add, one of the nuances too is, there's dozens and dozens of benefits of buying travel insurance, right? And some might be relevant on a specific trip or not. We learned a lot together during the pandemic, where suddenly, COVID was the #1 topic on customers' minds.
For sure,
and
yeah.
Certainly we pivoted pretty quickly to say, hey, if this is something you're worried about, you'll be protected for this. And that was quite the journey, and I think we got better over time at making it relevant to customers. I think what's also been interesting is we pretty quickly saw that stopped being a fear in customers' minds to travel. And we had built all this infrastructure around giving them comfort there. And we had to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, this product and what we're talking about is no longer relevant or as relevant as it was. And we spent the last year reinventing the way that we're talking to customers, understanding which of the multiple reasons that they could be covered is most relevant to them. But I think to the point on loyalty, it helps customers knowing, okay, yeah, you understand what I'm thinking right now, and you can help give me comfort and then take care of me on the other side.
Right. That reassurance, I think, is really important. And Ricky, I wanted to ask you about this uncertainty factor, right? That's when I think about insurance, there's the uncertainty. There's a lot of changes happening in flying, whether it's disruptions, delays, that kind of thing. Can you talk for a minute about the value of working with a partner like what Allianz does to reassure customers and also reinforce that value that we've been talking about?
Sure, and hopefully Andres will agree with me. But the value of working with Allianz is that we're focused on the customer. We're focused on what the customer wants, making it as relevant as possible. So Andres mentioned COVID. We made the world aware of what was covered. Well, people thought that that's the only thing that was covered. So we had to dial back on that language and, again, making it relevant. As we think about relevance and the future, we have to step forward and step up as an insurance company, not step back when there's a claim, because people don't always have the best impression of an insurance company. And so what we do is we step up. And before COVID, people were thinking about our products as financial security. I'm going to lose all of the money that I spent on this trip. And now people are really focused on safety, security, and well-being. And we want to make sure that people feel that before they go into the purchase, so that we're, again, supporting JetBlue's brand and giving as much comfort in making that purchase as possible.
Can you share any case studies or examples of how this worked out for a customer? We don't need to get into the specific destination, but just how how you had their back.
Sure. There was a JetBlue customers recently going to the Caribbean, They go down there, they're on resort, the husband isn't feeling well, his heart is having palpitations.
Yeah.
They go straight to the clinic says, this is too much, so they send them to the hospital. They go to the hospital, they then go from being a tourist to a foreigner, because now they're in a scary situation.
Right.
And it's your heart. So when they're there, they're told they have to put down their credit card to make a $5,000 deposit before they'll be seen, because your US insurance card's no good here. They were also speaking a different language. The wife remembered that she had her insurance. She calls us. We get on the phone with the hospital. We guarantee the payment so that they don't keep asking for more and more deposits, on the credit card.
Yeah.
The husband was going into AFib, and so, the peace of mind that brought to the couple while they were there, knowing that they were taken care of, that we were taken care of financially, but also that our nurses and doctors were making sure they were getting the appropriate care, is the best peace of mind. But for the $80 policy, they also saved a $9,000 bill.
Yeah. And I would imagine there's a brand halo for you, Andres, JetBlue as a brand, having that experience and having it resolve in a way that was...
Sure, and customers, as much as we're very clear, Allianz is the insurer, they hold us accountable to that.
Sure.
And I think it's something Ricky and I and our teams talk about a lot. We both know that if they get bad service from Allianz, they're going to call us and say, hey, I bought this on your website, and this didn't pan out as I expected. So we focus on that a lot as well. It's not just how do we offer the product, but also how do we service it. And we've talked about this a lot. We rarely get that call from customers saying, hey, I bought this thing, and the insurance company didn't do what they're supposed to. It happens very, 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 very rarely. And so that's something that's important to us is, hey, once the customer's in a situation, take care of them, and that'll build their trust in us as well, that we're finding the right
Yeah, it's another way to take care of the customer, create that better customer experience. It's really been a pleasure chatting with you both. If anyone would like to learn more about how Allianz is helping their partners in the airline industry, Skift and Allianz actually created a great report. You can download it using this QR code on the screen. Thank you again to both of you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.